How many of you are there? Can you please raise your hands? Mr. Batra? Yeah. I can't listen to you. Can you please unmute yourself?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Good morning.
Okay. Mr. Krishan Kant is there? Now, only these two? You are only
Good
two?
morning, Harpreet here.
Yeah.
Sir, good morning, Harpreet here.
Start with our today's program. To start with, I must say.
Saurav is also there. Saurav is also
Oh,
there.
Saurav is there. That's
Right,
fine. Very good.
right.
Very good.
Four are there at the moment. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So sorry,
So,
I am out somewhere, so would have some network issues. So pardon me if I have any question, I'll put it in chat. Just wanted to let you know because there's a lot of network issue here.
So you have both the options. One is
fourth session, you already listened to 3 sessions earlier. And in that, you have talked about what is talent management, what is talent basically, and you have talked about talent management strategy. Now, before I start with our actual session, I would like to have some kind of questions to you because so far you have asked me questions, but today I am going to ask you some questions. That will be fair enough. And just to have some idea that whether you are getting whatever I am saying. Now, where do you stand so that I can go forward further? So let me just come with my presentation today. So here is a presentation today. Basically, we are going to start with our topics on talent acquisition. And as I told you earlier that before I start with talent acquisition, I'd like to have some idea about where do you stand. I mean, at least some basic understanding that you have got or not, just to have a kind of revision for you. So my question will be, to start with the question will be simply, what is talent? That is my first question. I just like to have a few words from you that what is talent, what do you understand about it? Not much, but just a little. Yes, can you please, some of you who can tell what is talent? Anybody?
So this is the inbuilt ability of a person, and at the same time, what he develops with time. Learning the skills with time. That both combines the talent of a person. Sir.
Okay, good, good.
Sir, natural skill or ability?
Natural skill or ability. Well, any third one? I would like at least three questions, 3 answers.
Any type of skill available of the persons in a particular branch, particular subject of matrix.
Okay. See, you have talked about any kind of skill, any kind of capability, any kind of quality within a person. But there are certain things which are still missing here to complete it. I would just like to have a look at this. If I have said you talent earlier, try to understand that any kind of ability, any kind of gift, any kind of skill, any kind of knowledge in itself is, we're not going to define it as talent until and unless it is qualified by the point that it should contribute to the organizational performance. We are not asking for any gift within a person as it is. If that gift, that quality, that skill can contribute to the organizational performance, then we'll consider it as a talent, at least from the perspective of talent management. This is what has been seen and even talked by McKinsey also, that the talent consists of those individuals who can make a difference to the organization on its performance, either through the immediate contribution or in the long term, by demonstrating his potential. So it may be the abilities, as you have said rightly, it may be the intrinsic gifts, so that's also right. Any skill, any knowledge, any experience, any intelligence, any attitude, any character, any drive, everything is going to be a talent, provided is going to contribute to the organizational performance. I think you have to add that point, because this is ultimately the goal is directed towards how that talent is going to contribute to the organization. It is not merely a skill or merely a gift, it is little apart from that. Well, my second question quickly, what is talent management and its components? So what do, if this is the talent, what do you feel as talent management is all about? And what are its components? Can you have some idea on this? So what is talent management and its component? Means what are the steps that you should take in talent management? By far you have talked about it. Please come out with your ideas. No worry, nothing. If you do not have any idea, still try to do it. But that will help you to understand and remember. Anybody?
Talent management means
Yeah.
any persons of the skill knowledge enhanced with a particular subject, particular certificate and educations, and particular of the organization need. So there is the fit of the any persons, because no one is available of the all kind of perfectness. So any persons who have particularly talent, so particular skill, particular growth, particular knowledge of the particular subject with the certificate and education.
Okay. But that is what you have called as talent. Now I'm talking about what is talent management. How do you
And
differentiate?
also capable of the leading of the team and manage all things and to solve the problem technique.
That's again is what is talent. That is the quality and capability. But I want to know what is talent management. So there is a difference between talent and talent management. You should be able to understand it qualitatively.
So can I speak, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it is the management is basically, what we talk about talent, that it is the skill which can benefit organization, first of all.
Yeah.
So if somebody has that talent, then to make him first of all aware that he has that talent, and after making him aware, organization conducts such kind of programs which can actually enhance in his skills further and to take him to next step.
Okay. Okay. You were coming in the line. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? Harpreet?
Sir, Jase, last time when I asked you what is the difference between human resource management and talent management, you explained me कि like talent management is selecting a particular breed of the persons from the company and grooming them for the higher responsibility. So I can summarize it like talent management in an organization can be commitment to recruit, hire, retain, and develop the most talented and the superior employees available in the job market.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Absolutely right.
So that was the crux of the thing which I got it from you from the last time when I asked you what is the difference between the policies or the human resource management and talent management, since I was confused a bit.
Right. So the first thing I would like to start with, you see, the moment we say management of something, you should first try to understand this point. The moment we say management of something, management consists of using a particular resource optimally for the benefit of the growth of the organization, a resource that is scarce. Now, wherever you talk of management, you talk of financial management, because the finance is a scarce commodity. You cannot get in abundance or unlimited. If finance would have been unlimited, then we do not have any need of any management of that resource. So every resource that is scarce, we need to manage it so that we can use it properly. And by managing that, we can have a continuous supply of that, and that can affect the organizational goal or the objectives. Now here, since the talent is a scarce commodity, and the talent is very well required for the growth of any organization. Now, if this is a scarce resources, how we are going to manage it means how we are going to acquire it, how we are going to develop it, how we are going to people making retain in the organization, right? It's a whole continuous process, right? So managing the resource right from the day one, right from trying to hire them to the last day, getting the best out of those people and making them retain in the organization. This whole process is talent management. So if you look at it, just to have a revision of that, number one, you see, it is a science of using strategic human resource planning. The moment we say, I says strategic, it means it's connected to the strategy of the organization. We're using this talent management as a tool for achieving the goals of the and the objectives of the organization. So it should ultimately be able to improve the business value of the organization. The moment is the business value of the organization, so that is going to add to that. So the processes are, as I said you earlier, acquiring, right from the acquiring, recruiting them, retaining them, developing them, making them, giving them rewards. Why rewards? Just to make them retained in the organization and make them perform the best. That is what is called a talent management. So talent management strategy is connected to a business strategy. Our talent management strategy is derived from the business strategy. For the business, what kind of talent is required, when it is required, at what time it will be required, how it will be available. So we make our plan for the talent management accordingly. So it's all talent management is a process of acquiring people, developing them, rewarding them, make them in the organization, and that should contribute to the business value or the performance of the organization. And quickly, this talent management has these components, this any talent management process, because any talent management process or talent management ensures that you get the right people at the right place at the right time. Whenever there is a requirement of any particular kind of skill or a person in a particular position, it should be available to the organization. So we're ready in such a way that whenever there is a need, we should be able to supply it, and our performance should not suffer by any reason, right? So our strategic business objective is also made. So if you see there, this process includes these points which you have said earlier also. Workforce planning, how much people, which people, where it's required, in which roles. Talent gap analysis means in a particular position, what kind of talent is required and what is the present position. If there is a gap, expected performance and actual performance. If there is a gap, that means there is a gap in the talent. That gap is to be found out first, because when you find out the gap, then you can think about how we can get it and from where we can get it. And from that, we can get a cue that what kind of people are to be recruited. So there comes recruitment, then there comes staffing, making them posted at different places wherever it's required, then educating them, developing them, then retaining them in the organization, and you make a review of whatever steps you are taking. Is it all right? If not so, where lies the gap again, and how can you improve it and make it better? And with the succession planning, that when the in a particular post or positions, people will retire or people will leave the organization, who is going to be substituted in that position. So, and the evaluation of our entire process of talent management. These are all part of talent management. You should remember, these are all backgrounds on the basis of which you shall go forward. And this is a sort of reminder to you, and you can go through your papers and your whatever you're studying, or you listen to the videos already said, already posted, so that you can have the clear understanding of this. Now, and so quickly, if we see that this talent management has got basically 3 steps. Number one, the talent acquisition, that is the first thing. And the talent acquisition will depend upon and will flow from what? The business vision, mission, strategy, and values of the organization. What is the strategy of the organization? What is the vision of the organization? What is the mission of the organization? What is our goal? So what is our strategy? And according to that, we will make our planning that how we are going to acquire, what we are going to acquire from the environment. And the next will be the talent development. Whatever you have acquired, but developing them. I'm again and again saying all these things because you should have it in your mind very clearly, embed in your mind, acquire them, then develop them. Why develop them? So that we can get the best out of them, so that we can contribute to the performance of the organization. And by developing, they'll be more motivated to stay in the organization. Staying them, making them feel happy and contented. They should remain in the organization, being engaged in the organization. And ultimately, assessment of the talent and making them aligned with the organizational objectives and organizational goals. That is one talent management model. But out of that, the first point is talent acquisition. So let us now see what is this talent acquisition is all about. Well, talent acquisition is the first thing. It's a process of developing a strategy to attract and recruit top talent. Now, top talent. Now, from the very name itself, you can understand it's acquiring people. It's a process of developing a strategy. How we are going to attract and recruit top talent. Number one, attracting and then recruiting the top talent. The talent acquisition and recruitment are not same. Again, here I'm saying talent acquisition and recruitment are not same. Recruitment is one component of talent acquisition. Talent acquisition is the whole thing. Recruitment is one part of it, and we'll see the difference just quickly a little later. Talent acquisition involves many things. Number one, employer branding. Now you will understand why employer branding. Employer branding in the sense, since we are in a competitive situation, every organization is trying to get the best people from the environment. So there will always be a requirement of best people, and everyone is trying for that. Now, where the people will go, those organizations will be able to attract them. And who can attract better? Those who can create their own branding. They are more visible in the environment, visible in the market, and people, the good people, will be attracted towards their organization. So an organization has to create its own branding. So acquisition and branding itself is a part of that acquisition. Why? Because we are trying to fetch more people, attract more people towards the organization. Then the recruitment. For the recruitment, you have to make marketing. To get best people, that's why the marketing is being said here all about marketing about yourself, marketing about your ways and means, marketing about your organization, marketing of your brand, so that it make the recruitment. And the recruitment process itself. This is one part of that whole thing. Candidate relationship management. So there are prospective candidates in the market whom you think is a good candidate, better candidate who can contribute to the organization, creating a relationship with them. It's not necessary that a good person will be joining you today, right now, but you may keep on talking to him, and someday he may join, and which will be work for the organization. So candidate relationship management, onboarding plan, that when they're coming to the organization, now, the moment somebody joins an organization, the first experience that he gets in a short period, in the temporary period, the experience that he gets, that's going to determine whether he will remain in the organization or not. So, if you can give the best of the experience right from the beginning by onboarding, then they will be like to remain with the organization. That is also part of the talent acquisition, because talent is rare, and we have to catch hold of those people and to make them remain in the organization. Succession planning and talent development. That is also part of this. Succession planning, when you talk of succession planning, then we may have a futuristic view, a proactive view that what kind of people are most crucial to the organization. And if tomorrow they are not available, from where we are going to have it. So we have a talent acquisition, we'll have a point on that, a pointer on that, that if such and such response to this crucial positions, there is a vacancy, where from we are get and who is going to replace that place. That is also part of the talent acquisition. It's a futuristic view, because talent management is not of today only. It's we are talking about the futuristic with the future goal and the future position of the organization. And there is continuous strategic alignment depending upon the requirement of the organization, depending upon the strategy of the organization. There is a continuous change and continuous thinking that how we are going to make our talent management, talent strategy, a talent acquisition strategy, so that we can continuously supply the need of the organization wherever it is required. So this is the talent acquisition. So it's a process of attracting and recruiting top talent in the organization with many other things associated with it. Now I'd like to make you give the difference between recruitment and talent acquisition. Well, recruitment is only one aspect of talent acquisition. The first point, recruitment is about filling the vacancies. There is a vacancy and filling it. No other big and strategy involved in it. Whereas in a talent acquisition, it's an ongoing strategy to find talented people, because we are in search of best of the best people, depending upon the roles and skills in an organization, requirement of a particular skill in a particular role, and we are already proactive about that. We are thinking about it in advance, so that our performance does not stop at any place. So it's an ongoing strategy. Whereas more or less in case of recruitment, only whenever there is a vacancy arises, we are trying to think about getting people from the market. Second point, it is only one aspect of talent acquisition, which is selection, recruitment, selection, and hiring to fill the vacancy. Whereas the talent acquisition has got many other aspects involved in it. It involves long-term human resource planning, because we are not planning for today only, we are planning for tomorrow. What is going to happen tomorrow? And we are ready with that, because as you have said in talent management, we should be able to provide right people at the right place at the right time. So there is no stoppage. It's an ongoing process. So you have to have a long-term human resource planning. Compared to recruitment, it's much more long-term. Search for appropriate candidates for specific skill set. Getting the appropriate candidate, and not only getting appropriate candidate, thinking ahead, being proactive, which are the most sensitive and crucial position in the organization. If we start thinking only when there is a vacancy, then we'll be losing it because performance will be affected. So keeping an eye on that, what are the most crucial places and roles in the organization, and we are ready with the appropriate candidate with specific skill set whenever it's necessary. It's a far broader focus than just doing HR function involving professionals. Yes, it's a much more broader focus in the sense, in an HR, they will get people from outside, they will get the requirement of people from various departments, and then they will get the people with requisite qualification and experience. Here, HR is not only doing that, HR is also collaborating with the different professionals in different parts of the organization and talking to them with a cross-disciplinary expertise, that what kind of people who are crucial to the organization and whenever it's going to be required, how we're going to get it. So it's a whole strategy of supplying the right kind of people to the organization uninterruptedly and continuously, so that the performance does not stop here and we get the best out of the people. So it's a very tough competition today. We cannot stop anywhere. It involves attracting and nurturing top talent. So it's not merely getting people from the market as we do in recruitment. It's attracting better good people from the market. We develop ourselves in such a way and make our presence felt in the market in such a way by creating brands and all the marketing campaigns that people are attracted. And once the people are attracted, we nurture them also as a top talent who may be required for a particular purpose and a particular position, in a particular role with particular skill in the organization. We are ready, always ready. So recruitment and talent acquisition, the basic difference, recruitment is only one part of one function of the talent acquisition, whereas talent acquisition is more a comprehensive process and it's more strategic. It's more strategic, aligned with the organizational strategy. Well, now let us see why this talent management is critical. And we have said, what is talent management? Talent management is highly critical for any organization today, particularly today when there is a large and huge competition and everyone is after getting the best of the best people available in the market. So talent acquisition is a crucial, talent acquisition strategy itself is a very crucial thing. It's a critical thing. Number one, reasons that you can see, identifying and hiring people who are best suitable to the organization. So we're just going to hire. We have to find out, we have to assess, we have to identify and hire those people who are best suitable to the organization. And the moment you say best suitable, then there are many things to be done, right? Identifying the competencies, mapping the competencies, finding the particular skill set required, right? Everything is a big process. It's critical because we cannot afford not to have a person in a particular position when that is the demand arises. It's creating a role in the organization for compelling candidates available. It's a role, talent acquisition strategy role is for getting compelling candidates. Those candidates which are a must for us, which we must get, so that or particular sensitive positions are not unmanned. This doesn't remain vacant. So it's a more proactive thinking, highly proactive thinking. We can't afford not to have a person for those good candidates. And a compelling candidate is always required by everyone in the market. Everyone will try to get him. Discovering potential of candidates for suitable roles. Now this is another thing. I mean, maybe the person that you are hiring or the potential candidate, you need to discover those qualities which is required for a particular role in the organization. So finding out the roles, finding out the potential within candidate is a very crucial thing, because who knows that within whom what kind of special qualities are present, so that it can really contribute to the organization to its best, and it can be used for the betterment of the organization. Next, it's critical because it creates a brand of the company as a preferred employer. So alongside making this strategy should be made in such a way that we make it the organization creates a brand in the market, so the people gets attracted towards it. So it's a critical action. We have to create that brand by which people will automatically come to the organization, right? Maintaining uninterrupted supply of talented people. That is the biggest goal of talent management, that we need to maintain uninterrupted supply of talented people. We cannot stop anywhere. Stopping the performance of the organization, we're going to lose in today's cutthroat competition. We cannot afford to do that. Importantly, the talent acquisition function does not just involve HR. So here, HR is not that so-called HR that we are familiar with. It has got many other things. As I said earlier, also, and we'll see to that, there are various other things connected with it. It is not merely the HR function or the personnel function. It has to have more strategic outlook. Being more strategic, it has to align itself with the organizational goals and objectives. So now, let me start with what are the steps of talent acquisition process. What are the steps that we need to have one by one? Number one, so there are 5 steps which I'll point out here. Inbound marketing, outbound marketing, filtering and selection, conversion and onboarding, continuous improvement. So what do you mean by that? There are a few steps here. Now coming to the first point, inbound marketing. As you have seen, the marketing is of 2 kinds. It may be inbound marketing or it may be outbound marketing. And outbound marketing are the most so-called the traditional ways of marketing. And that is what is traditionally being done. And in outbound marketing is necessarily that kind of marketing where the company, the organization is sending the messages outside to the potential people. Necessarily the difference between the two, outbound and inbound marketing, try to understand it. Where the organization is trying to get somebody from outside, searching for people, it's outbound marketing. Just opposite to that, when the people, the candidates are trying to get a vacancy from some organization, from the particular organization, it's a inbound marketing, right? So we'll see the difference right now. In an inbound marketing, the organization creates itself, it develops a brand in a way that people in the market know about that organization and they try to reach that organization. So they are approaching towards. In an inbound organization, the people are being attracted towards the organization. People are searching themselves for the organization. Oh, I have heard of this organization which is so good, right? Which is a leader organization. I want to go to that organization. So he's trying to get inside that organization. That's inbound marketing. So the organization has to create that brand, create that name in the market, and that branding in the market through that various processes, so that people are attracted towards and people start approaching the organization. So it's a process. Inbound marketing is a process of attracting best talent through building employer brand, recruitment marketing, campaigning, converting inbound leads. In the sense, today's all the technology that we're adopting, outbound marketing is necessarily the old ways of doing marketing. Today is everything that we are doing in the sense, when you say creating a website, putting blogs in that, using Google AdWords, keyword search engine marketing, paid search marketing, or your opt-in emails. These are such things where people are coming to the potential candidates are coming to the organization. And today there is a need for making that inbound marketing. We cannot depend merely on the outbound marketing. In those days, earlier, what you used to do in outbound marketing, say, for example, through the television channel, through the radio channel, through newspaper, through brochures, the flyers, or a trade fair and all that. Generally, people are used to market their product. And even today, people are making majority of their expenditure, the budget is on the outbound marketing or the old style. About 90% of that is being spent on that. But gradually things are changing because those kind of outbound marketing has got high expenditure and low yield, right? So today today is the age of inbound marketing where we can make our presence felt. People will come to the organization by seeing the blog, by seeing the search engine marketing, from the paid search, from the AdWords, right? So everything, all those new latest technologies available today, organization need to work on that and should make it a part of their talent management, talent acquisition strategy. So inbound marketing and outbound marketing, right? These are two important things, and we have to gradually increase this inbound marketing process so that we can become today's technology driven marketing is possible in the organization. Next, filtering and selection, right? Filtering. If you're getting people from the market, many people from the market, there are many applications, we have to filter it, but filter that against actual performance, not merely by seeing the qualification and experience that has been written there. So you have to see the performance, weigh their performance through these possible things. Number one, yes, of course, the educational qualification, that's one point. We have to critically see that what kind of educational qualification is going to help us, although that's not everything. And the next is the skill set and domain expertise. The skill set that is required for a particular role, and that has to be understood very clearly, and what is that his expertise in that particular domain, and that has to be seen, the skill set and the domain expertise. The personality of the person and work ethics. What is the personality of that person, his attitude, his behavior, his everything, and his work ethics. That is also required today, because when you say a person, it is not merely skill that is important. His knowledge and skill about the work is important. His personality, his behavior, his way of dealing with other people, his interpersonal skills, and all other allied things are also equally important. So we need to assess those things. Filtering, in the process of filtering and selection. Career goals and alignment. Now, when we are taking a person inside, if you know, well aware about his career goal, then we can see how he can be suitable to our organization, to the organization who is recruiting him. So his career goals should be aligned with the career goals of the organization. So his career goals in alignment, what is his strength, what does he want, what is his desire in life to go. So that also helps us to understand how seriously he will be involved in the organization and will contribute to the best to the organization. So in the filtering process, not only the educational qualification, but the skills and personality will also see his career goals in alignment of the potential candidate. And last but not the least, very, very important, is that culture fit to the company's value. Right? As a person, organization culture is very, very important. And anybody who has joined the organization, if is suitable and fit to the organization culture, that is the best thing. The values and culture of the organization, if that resonates with the person who is joining the organization, in the organization, then the organization is going to get the best out of it. If it's a misfit in the form of see the culture, then it's bad. He's not suitable for that. So the culture fit to the company's values is very, very crucial thing, understandable thing, and it's required to be seen. So filtering selection process Filtering and selection process will involve educational qualifications, skill set and domain expertise, personality and work ethics, career alignment, culture fit with the company's value. That was our next step. Next step in talent acquisition strategy is conversion and onboarding. Right. Now, what do you mean by that conversion and onboarding? See, the person that you are coming to the organization, although they may have got certain experience and qualifications and domain expertise, they are to be changed and reshaped as per the need of the organization. So that will make them converted for the organization, for the requirement of the organization. So in the onboarding, there should be a requirement of preliminary training, continuous preliminary training and continuous review in the initial period. So to understand and to uh, assure and to, to confirm that they are really being suitable for the organizational goal and the organizational requirement. So converting them, and for converting them, it's very well necessary to understand what are the requirement of training to the particular kind of people, in what area they need to be trained, what kind of knowledge they should be given, and not only to give them the knowledge, but to inspire them, to motivate them, to make them feel that they're part of the organization, making them, creating that belongingness to the organization. So there should have a continuous training and continuous review that how they are developing. And this is also very important to make them suitable for the organization. And the next, somewhat similar to that, the continuous improvement. Merely recruiting a person is not enough. We need to now make him improve continuously. Making improve means what? By giving continuous training to them. Now, when you give training to them, the first thing that happens that they become more knowledgeable, suitable to the organization. At the same time, the very important thing is that in the process of talent management, we must know that if you want to retain people, we have to keep them engaged in the organization. And we said making them engaged, if you can keep people motivated by contributing to their own life, to their own goal, to their own career path, they will be more inclined to stay in the organization. So when there is continuous improvement, means they are being given those those things which can keep them motivated in the organization. If you're giving them continuous training and development, they'll remain motivated, they'll remain engaged in the organization, they'll be sustained, that engagement will be sustained, and they will be retained in the organization. So you see these 4 points. The point of talent acquisition process, remember it, that you have to market people, right? Marketing is important. And marketing, as I said, it's an inbound marketing and outbound marketing. And inbound marketing is that where people will approach the organization. Why people will approach the organization? Because we have been able to create such a brand in the market, such a name in the market that people is searching for us. That's your inbound marketing. And then there is outbound marketing, the old methods of marketing where what we are doing by our other methods like TV channels and radio channels, filtering and all that. So, but both the things are required, but today we have to give more stress on the inbound marketing. Then the process filtering and selection, as I said, we filter against certain parameters, the education, skill set, personality, career, culture, fit, and all that. And then conversion onboarding, making them converted to the real, as per real requirements of the organization, and reviewing that continuously. And then there is continuous improvement, that is critical process to sustain their engagement by developing them, giving them training, right? So now we are, after this, we are now going to see some of the crucial talent acquisition strategies. So we have seen what is talent acquisition. Now see some, and we have seen the strategies also, but now it's seeing, trying to see, find out some of the crucial talents. I mean, certain specific points in that. Talent acquisition for bulk recruitment. Now, today, it is a time that is where, if you think about appointing one person or 2 person or 10 people, but an organization may have a continuous requirement of people, we should be able to get people recruited in bulk. And for that, the change strategy is today that we need to have the help of technology by the use of software and or by the automated process, we can search for the people, we can select people rather than getting one by one or in pockets, in small amount of people. No, today you need to have a bulk recruitment strategy by an automated process. That is again will become a part of the today's acquisition strategy, which is more crucial, more technology driven, right? Hiring for strategic roles. This is another component. Very, very important. The strategic roles here I'm talking about the people the the top people of the organization who matters for the organization because their presence and their activity, their contribution is going to affect the organizational goal and objectives. So we cannot afford those positions to remain vacant. So there must have a very proactive process of keeping things ready for them, keeping such kind of people ready, so that there is no time gap wherever there is any requirement of such kind of people. And generally today, for such things, we should be able to take the help of the hiring organizations. There are various hiring organizations who have got absolute expertise and experience in the area of finding out and mapping the competencies of the strategic people, the top management people. So they are on behalf of the organization, they can always continue to search for the people and keep people ready with them. So whenever there is a need for the people of the strategic role, there is no gap and you get it immediately. Internal hiring strategy. Internal hiring strategies, that is, today we are encouraging, organizations are encouraging to hire people from the known people to the referrals of the people who are already working in the organization. So the internal hiring strategy is to be encouraged for the simple reason. One very important reason is there. The people who are giving reference to the reference for the prospective candidates, they are more aligned culturally with the people who are referring to. So because they are calling the known people, so there is a chance that because they will come to know from each other the culture of the organization. So the people who are joining the organization, the prospective people, they will have a quite fair idea about the culture of the organization. So that will help to make that culture fit for the organization. So internal hiring strategy is also crucial today. Strategies for technical hire. Yeah, the technical positions or the technical roles are very crucial for any organization, and an organization or the HR department or the talent management department may not have that kind of technological knowledge of that particular technology and the skill set required for that particular positions. And for that, it's very well required today to engage the organizations who are involved in such kind of hiring process, those who know about the technology and required people for that kind of technology. So it's always better to have hiring for the hiring agencies for technical hires. And then the best practices for the talent acquisition, right? There are certain best practices for the talent acquisition which you need to follow, which we'll be seeing little later. So these are some of the crucial talent acquisition strategies. It's a little different and a little separate from the normal thing that you talk about. But the best practices you just see here. The best practices in its theory, in its philosophy, look for the potential, not just for performance. Try to understand it. This gives a big difference between yesterday's hiring process and today's hiring process. Yes, although earlier we just used to look at the performance only, whether he can do it or not. But we were not being only looking at the present, we are being more proactive, we are being more futuristic by looking at the potential of the person, how we can grow them. Is there any possibility that this person can be grown to a state which will be of value to the organization? So we look for the potential people, not just what he is only doing. He is doing very fine, but we also look for the potential, and we'll also look for the people who may not have exactly right now the capability, but they have got a high potential. We may be the organization may hire them. We may consider hiring them. Prioritize internal mobility. Internal mobility is to be prioritized in the sense that people should be given the position where they're most suitable. They should be given the role that is most suitable to them, to their liking or to their more fit to their skill or their talents, so that internal mobility has to be as per the requirement of the and the quality of the person, the organizational requirement. Rethink who falls under talent acquisition, right? Who are the people who are required to be in the talent acquisition process? That is the people, the capabilities, the skills that are required in the talent acquisition. Advertise strategically. Today's advertisement has to be more strategic. Strategic in the sense that you should be able to continue with this talent management strategy depending upon the organizational strategy, and our advertisement should be such that we should be able to attract more people, the best of the people from the outside market, so that we can cater to the needs of the organization. So there are some of these practices which have already been discussed here, some of the highlighting of these best practices. Now come to the talent acquisition workflow, how this talent acquisition is working. Number one, the requisition process. The requisition process is that just to find out the gap, where lies the gap of talent, the roles in the organization, when you identify that by the process of assessing the expected performance and the actual performance, and there is a requisition process. That requisition is possible with the collaboration and cooperation of all the departments in the organization. The HR department has to have a more wider connection with the people in the various other departments, and they'll create a requisition, not keeping in with the today's requirement, but also keeping in with the future proactive requirement process, future proactive requirement, what may be required tomorrow, depending upon the various objectives of the organization. So that requisition process is the first process, and the second thing is sourcing, means where from we'll get that kind of people. What are the places, whether it's to the hiring agency, to the universities, to the campus recruitment, what are the various agencies through which you can source that? The sourcing is the next thing. And then in that sourcing process itself, the marketing will come into being, or inbound marketing process and outbound marketing process will come into being. Today you need to be more technological savvy, and we should try to get all those things, making the search engine optimization, the search engine marketing, AdWords marketing and everything. We should take the help of those kinds of things. And after that, whatever we receive, as you know, that's the normal process of the application process, receiving the application, and sorting them out, and then of course finding the suitable, potentially suitable people, then screening and interviewing them. And while you screen and interview them, it is not only their quality and qualification, their match to the organization, not only match to the organization, match to the culture of the organization, right? And match to the future needs of the organization. Everything has to be kept in view. And then it will go into two other directions. One is employment offer or notification of the non-selected. This is a general process in HR. So this is our talent acquisition workflow. What is the structure remaining the same? The philosophy and the stress on various aspects is different from the normal recruiting process. Well, let us see another important thing. The process of acquisition should be wise, means there is certain overriding thoughts over that. When you make this acquisition process, there are certain things you should keep in mind. Yes, you have to get right people at the right place, not only that, right time. The right people at the right place, the right time, that is what is our goal is. Don't depend upon coaching, mentoring, or training and subsequent to hiring. What do you mean by that? What I mean to say here is, right today, select the appropriate people. Do not think that tomorrow we'll coach them, mentor them, and give them training, and then they'll be suitable for the organization. No. We should try right from today to get the best of the people, the right people. Hiring hard, so hire hard and manage easy. So it's better to get the best of the people, which is more suitable as per the skill, his potential, and everything, and so that the next management becomes much more easier. Otherwise, what will happen? You will not find a person who is most suitable, then you have to make them suitable by giving them more trainings and all those kinds of things on him, and that will be the thing. So hire hard and manage easy. Define needs properly before hiring. That is the requisition process, as I told you earlier. That defining the needs. What are the actual needs? Today's needs and tomorrow's needs, being futuristic, we need to find out very clearly, crystal clear, what are the needs of the organization, so that one can find out the suitable people in the market. And the suitable people in the market is possible to find out only when you specifically know the needs of the organization, right? So define needs properly before hiring. Make proper and adequate sourcing. Proper and adequate sourcing. That find out people from different sources. Don't forget to make it inbound and outbound marketing properly, so that you can get the best of the people from the market, right? So these are to be kept in mind to make this process more wiser. Person organization fit, just to have an idea about the points, some of the points. An individual and the organization, they should be fit with each other, and the individual may have these capabilities, these qualities, his values, his personality, his expectations, his interests, his goals, his knowledge, his skills and abilities. They should match with the values of the organization, the reward process in the organization, the structure of the organization, the culture of the organization, the objectives of the organization, strategies of the organization. If these things fit with each other, as person and the organization, then it will be an ideal thing. So to different stages of selection and finding out, we should try to get the maximum fit. It's not necessary that everything will become totally suitable to each other, but with the best it is possible, we should see that we getting the right person, the most fit person in the organization. The person organization fit is important to be seen. And here, one important thing, very, very important thing, is the culture of the organization. If the person doesn't get, is not suitable to the culture of the organization, that is due to big misfit for them. So that is one very important point. Well, points to consider, as we told earlier, the person and the organization. Person should be fit for the job. Person should be fit for the organization, right? We should, through this talent management, talent acquisition strategy, we should ensure that the person and the job fit to each other. And then should have high performance and lower turnover. That is our goal through the talent management, right? And talent management, talent acquisition strategy should focus on that we get such people who can give high performance with low turnover. And in the moment we say that low turnover means that in a talent management strategy, we make people engage in the organization in such a way that they don't feel like leaving the organization. They give the best of the performance and the turnover is low. And in that process, our talent acquisition strategy is very, very important, so that we get the real fit person who is suitable to the organization. The person organization fit. So one is person job fit, and another is person organization fit. His culture, his values, his career aspirations, and his skill set, right, is very important. That has to be considered. The job satisfaction, commitment, and turnover. The last but not the point, not the least, the important point is that his job satisfaction. The people who are joining the organization, they must have the job satisfaction. That's possible when you find out and select the right kind of people and see their, and so that they can become committed to the organization. And by being committed to the organization, the turnover becomes less. So when the points to be considered in talent acquisition strategy, we should find a person who is job fit. We should ensure that the performance is high and the turnover is low. And the person and the organization, they fit to each other. They have job satisfaction, they have commitment and turnover, right? Right from the day when our talent acquisition strategies should involve these things in the process, so that we can get the best of the people. So now we are at the end of our process of this today's program. We have talked about reading that what is talent management and what is talent, with a little recapitulation of that. And the next step started it for this talent acquisition strategy. Talent acquisition strategy is how it is different between the recruitment and talent management strategy, how they're different with each other, why talent management is crucial to any organization, what are the steps involved in it, and the steps were inbound marketing and outbound marketing, filtering and selection, conversion and onboarding, continuous improvement. There are certain crucial talent acquisition strategies that also we have seen. What are the best practices for talent management? What are the talent workflow, talent acquisition workflow? And there are certain points as to which you kept in mind to make the talent acquisition strategy more wiser. Now, I'm open to questions from your side. If you have got any question to ask, you are most welcome to do so. Yes, please. Anybody having any question?
Sir, Harpreet here. Sir, Harpreet here.
Yeah, please, Harpreet, come on.
Hello.
Hello, please.
Sir, actually, I just want to ask you, like, sir, I'm audible to you, no?
Little difficult, but yes,
Hello?
it's audible. Keep on going.
Yes, sir. Let me come outside, sir. Okay, sir. Like I was up to about the inbound marketing and the outbound marketing. So
Yeah.
can I summarize in like the marketing as the internal openings which are floated by the company, and the outbound marketing as the hiring which is done by the company through some portal or through consultants like Nokcha are hired for this source acquisition, this talent acquisition. Can I say that for the inbound
You
marketing
see,
and the outbound marketing?
if you want to really understand inbound and outbound marketing, look at from the other point of view. One thing is the candidates are searching for the organization, right? And the another thing, the organization is searching for the candidates. These are two different things. Now, organization is searching for the candidates. How? They're giving their advertisement in the newspaper, in the radio, in the TV, right? And all other places, sending the flyers in the market. That is, organization is trying to get people. But at the same time, when the organization has made their website, there is ads are given there. I mean, the search ads are there. The search engine optimization is being done. Search engine marketing is being done. There, people are trying for the when people is going to the Google site and trying to find out an organization, search for that. It's an inbound marketing because they are searching for it, right? So when they are searching for it, it becomes an inbound marketing. And today, with the development of the technology, you should be able to create those. You see, it's just like the spider. Have you seen the spider with, I mean, spreading his net, is waiting for the people to strike. Now everyone sees there is a spider, there is a net, and people start and goes and gets attracted there and gets lost. So it's the people who will search for the organization, then it is inbound marketing. So you can define if it falls into that category. Yes, please come out. Come out,
Okay,
please.
sir.
Hello, sir. Mahesh here. Sir, how to design this strategy for the organization which has already hired people? Means just like old organizations have of 5-6 years.
Yeah. So what is the question once again?
How to design strategy, talent strategy for the organization, those who have already hired the peoples?
Okay, now see, one thing which you are missing here, you are saying that for the organization who have already hired people. Now, hiring is not for one event, there's a continuous process. That if that organization is a stale organization, it is not going to hire any more people in future. It is not possible. But certain people will retire. Some people will leave the organization, right? Some people will leave this world. So what happened? There will be at different points of time there will be need of people. So we have to think about, because if something happens, then we start searching for the people who is required. Then it will be losing proposition in the tough competition. We cannot afford to do that, right? So we have to keep in mind every organization. There is already existing organization who have already hired. Always, every organization will already hire people, but it's a futuristic step. That what tomorrow is required. Not only tomorrow is required, what kind of change in our business strategy is going to happen tomorrow, and do we have people for tomorrow's requirement today along with us? It's available with us, so whenever it's needed we can place them at that particular place. So it's being a futuristic view. Are you getting my point, what I'm saying, please?
Yes, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir.
Yeah. Yes, next person.
Sir, need to know more about inbound marketing.
Okay, please. Please come out.
Yeah, sir, I need to know more about inbound marketing. I mean,
Okay.
outbound is clear.
Inbound marketing, inbound marketing, inbound marketing. You see, suppose you have got a website, right? You have put a blog there. Are you approaching any particular person? Say, tell me yes or no. Yes, Harpreet, please come out. Are you approaching any particular person? Hello, Harpreet.
Yes, sir. Come again. Sir, come again. What did you roll?
I'm saying that you have got a website. The organization has got a website. And your website, they have put
Okay.
about the organization.
Okay.
Now, is the organization
Okay.
searching for any particular person? No. They have put that information. People will come to the site and read that. Are you getting the point? Who is approaching here?
Okay.
That is called inbound. Yeah, that is called inbound marketing.
People will come to the site. People searching for an organization who have got such and such career path, right? So they put something in the bar, in the search bar, right? And he gets an organization. And this organization got this, and that blogs are there. He reads it and he approaches the organization. It's what is an inbound searching. How is this possible? Because the organization has put its blog in the website, and in the search engine also there is keywords are placed, and that keyword is suitable to that person who is searching for a particular job. I want a job which has got this kind of specification, and in my blog those keywords, those are the search keywords put, right? So the moment he writes that, place that in the search bar at the Google, and he finds that organization. So who is approaching? The people are approaching. And in that process, what has happened? The organization has taken that help of that kind of technique. The AdWords, the blogging, the search engine optimization, search engine marketing, everything is a part of today's inbound marketing. As I told you earlier, 90% of the today 90% expenditure generally made by the people are on the outbound marketing or on the flyers, advertisements, and all that. But gradually the things are changing now. Inbound marketing are cheaper, right? You are reaching much more audience, a bigger audience with a less expenditure with a better yield, right? That is required to be done today.
Sir,
Harpreet, could I give you something? Yes. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
hello.
Quite clear, sir. I'm now able to like. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
So that means the employer should also create that brand value in the market, so that inbound marketing could be successful for the
Yeah.
organization.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yes. Anybody else?
Sir, here Krishnakant Shukla. Hello.
Hello.
Here Krishnakant Shukla, sir.
Yeah. Please come out.
Sir, ये based in the best practice, why internal mobility is important? In best practice for talent acquisition, prioritize internal mobility. So why it is important?
Why it is important? Right. You see, mobility means what? There is one organization where the people are working. Say, this is your job. This is what you have to do. But the person himself has got a different trait, different liking, different skill set. He does not find that work interesting because there is a person job unfit. The person is not fit for the job. So when you say talent management, a talent management will see that you have put the right person at the right place. And the organization should be able to analyze that who has got what particular capability and qualification and experience and liking, so that they can put them at that right place to get the best out of him. So internal mobility means what? Whenever you find a person suitable for a particular role and his skill is suitable for a particular role, he should be shifted to that place rather than making him to stay at that place, and he will stay there because he will not be interested to work. So thereby we're losing that person. This is a loss to the organization. So internal mobility has to be encouraged. But internal mobility, let us put the right people at the right place, and the remaining vacancy will find out from the outside market. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But many times, many persons are working in a particular job in a 10 years, and
Yeah.
suddenly management like to change that persons to another place, which is there is the low performer. But in the previous place, he is the high performer.
Okay.
So I am
See,
asking
that
that
is bad.
questions.
That's a bad thing. If you are a high performer and you are shifting him, that is a bad proposition.
Yeah, yeah.
That shows the culture of that organization, right? They have got different perspective. They are not really interested for the growth of the organization, but they have got another goals to be achieved, maybe. Right?
Okay,
Are
sir.
you getting
Thank
my
you.
point?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. Thank you, sir.
ah, ah. Yes. Anybody
Sir, good
else?
morning. Saurabh this side, sir.
Yes. Saurabh. Yeah, Saurabh,
Uh,
please.
Sir, I have a quick question. I don't know whether it's related to today's topic or not, but I just wanted to ask this question. Now, in between your session, you said, induction plays a very, very important role.
Little louder, Saurabh, please.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Hello.
Hello? Sir, can you hear me?
Please, little louder. It's very, very, very feeble.
So, I'm sorry, I'm actually outside. Am I audible now?
Yes, come out. Tell me the
Okay,
question if I
so
can
my
understand.
question is, you said like during your session that induction plays a very very important role again in onboarding, and which is a crucial part of talent management.
Yeah.
And then we also understand that retaining employees also another crucial part of talent management. Now you would
What is,
see when a
huh,
person joins in as in learning development professional, we give them best of the input during induction process, correct? But the
yeah.
moment they join back, the moment they go on the shop floors in the areas or department they're supposed to work in, there they get a setback from the culture. So even if we give them a good amount of exposure during induction, they still tend to have a culture differences basis on which they don't want to retain in the company, they don't want to stay back in the company. So how do you think talent management answer that question? Because again, retaining is another component of talent management. How does the
I
talent
could
management deal with
listen to
that?
half of your question. So one thing you said that a person joins, there is a good onboarding and all that,
Correct.
and then he is deployed. Then what?
Sir, so once he deployed in the department, you see there's a culture the person comes into. Sir, am I audible?
Please.
So the person, once he goes on the shop floor, you would see he'll find a culture differences there. So even if you give them a good exposure and induction,
Yeah.
once he goes in the department, he find a difference in culture. What was being told to him in induction and what is happening on the shop floor is not matching. And then the
Okay.
person leaves within a probably period of a month or 2 months. So how do you think talent management answer to that culture perspective? Because you mentioned that culture is very, very important in an organization.
Mm-hmm.
So how does talent management
Yes.
answer to that question?
Right. So the organization culture, creating an organization culture is a responsibility of the entire organization.
Correct.
It is not only the HR department which is going to create, the talent management department is going to create the culture. Culture is a
Correct.
process which will be developed on its own through the various processes in collaboration with everyone. Here,
Correct.
already there is an existing culture. Now, try to understand it. Every organization has got its own culture.
Okay.
The talent management department or the HR department has got the role to see that the people they are getting from getting hired should be connected or aligned with the organization culture. They are not creating the culture. Try to understand it. They are contributing definitely, but they will see that how this is culture is suitable to the people who are coming into the organization. Now, so it is possible that some person joins there, as you said, after the onboarding and all that, he is deployed and they find that the culture is different. Yes, it is possible sometimes that he could not visualize it, and the organization does not, they are not, the organization itself do not take that much of interest in creating a culture which is suitable to the people, this can very well happen. But one should try to create a culture in the organization, and one should try to give that glimpse of that culture to the people for which they have been promised to. Now try to understand it. Here the HR will try to find out people who are similar to the culture of the organization. And as you said, but after joining, you find that the culture is different, means there itself is there is a problem in the development of the culture of the organization, right? The talent management department cannot have a big role in that, but at least they can give them training and change their attitude. If there is some misunderstanding or misinterpretation of the thing, that can be clarified to them. And sometimes it happens that you cannot understand the organization culture, you cannot visualize the organization culture. So they can make certain training programs and enough so that they can become habituated and accustomed to that culture, right? And that way possibly you can approach to that. Yes, anybody else? Yes, Mr. Agrawal.
Sir, I was not asking question. Actually, the point that you have just now sort of has raised, I would like to add into it.
Yeah.
Not in terms of question, but as you said, sir, the culture of the any company has got a culture. So when I say if a particular company has a culture of nurturing people, or they have certain kind of values, like if I talk about my own company, Tata, then we are very high in terms of ethics. So we have got a framework of competencies, what we call behavioral competencies, and that those are put in place. And while we are doing any interviews, we always take into consideration that people are,
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
people whom we are going to hire should have, those particular competencies in their, personality, or they have those value system, belief system. And that gives us a, hint that these are the people who can very well, be the part of a culture. And we hire those people particularly.
Yeah.
So we are very much, we confirm before hiring. And that is, as sort of asked that what will happen if
That's
people
right.
are not able to, match
Saurabh
with
had
the
one
culture.
problem. Saurabh question had that even if it is done like that, later
Yeah.
on you find that what has been said, it is entirely different, the culture is different, then what to do?
At times mistakes can happen, sir. I have also seen that there were a couple of people who joined our organization, but they found that since we were very high on ethics, and they found that the way they used to do in the previous company, probably the forgery or sort of thing, which was actually not possible in the company, and they got to know in the very starting months, 3-4 months itself. And we found that they, from the very starting of their joining itself, they started having a sort of different attitude towards the culture, and slowly, gradually, in a year time, they left the company.
Yeah.
So this is very much evident. But point is, during the interview itself, as you said, the HR has to be, as you said in your talent acquisition strategy also, we should hire hard. So we have to be very clear with the
manage
things,
easy, yeah.
what are we going to hire, what are we looking at in terms of competencies, and then we should go for the hiring. So this is what I want to add into.
Right. Thanks for the contribution. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Yes, Mr. Agrawal, anybody else?